Welcome to the Watchful Citizen. We're sponsored by the Lancaster County Democrats. My name is Barbara Baier, and today we have an interview guest. His name is Ken Haar, and he is running for the legislative seat in District 21. Welcome, Ken.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Good. Well, tell us a little bit about yourself, Ken. What's your background?
Okay. Well, I was raised in a small farm community in Freeman, South Dakota, and then when I was about 14, we moved to Lincoln. And since then, I've pretty much been a Lincoln resident. My professional life included being a teacher for 15 years. Then I got wooed away by computers, and so professionally, I've worked with computers for the rest of that time. About 5 years ago, my wife and I bought an acreage out near Branched Oak Lake. I took off a couple years and built my own house, which has been one of the great one of the great experiences of my life. And then I've also started a small business called Compliance at a Glance, and we're testing some software for nursing homes. And now I have a wife and 2 sons and 3 grandchildren.
Oh, that's very nice. Well, tell us, why are you running?
Well, first of all, I have a deep commitment to public service, and I've always believed that individuals can make a difference. And right now, of course, the legislature is huge turnover in the legislature because of term limits. And so I believe that I could make a valuable contribution, be ready to go into the legislature to hit the ground running. And finally, I'm at that point in life now where you look to younger generations and you say, it's really their world. And I would like to leave a good world for my grandchildren. Mm-hmm. So I'm doing this for my grandkids and all the other children.
Great. Well, very good. Well, tell us, describe what area District 21 is.
Okay. District 21 used to stretch all the way from Lancaster County up to Sarpy County. It was kind of the scraps that fell off the table when Omaha got designated its districts and Lincoln designated its districts. But currently, it's been consolidated somewhat. About 71% is in Lancaster County. That includes the Highlands, Fallbrook, Air Park, the area 27th and Superior. And then it runs all the way up 27th Street to Saunders County for 5 rural precincts, and then catches Valparaiso, Ceresco, and Ashland. So about 20,000 voters like the other districts, but it's still spread out over quite an area.
Yeah, well, how do you run a campaign in such a big district?
Well, it's a challenge. In Lincoln, of course, 71% of the district is in Lincoln. Mm-hmm. So that part of my campaign is door to door to door. Mm-hmm. So far in 5 weeks, I've knocked on 1,300 doors.
Oh, that's a lot of work, isn't it?
A lot of work. But it's also a great deal of fun to meet people at the door. And then as the campaign goes along, I hope to walk every precinct, do some visiting in the rural communities, but probably the touching base with rural people will come primarily through mailings.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, very good. Now, you said that you're doing a lot of door-to-door kind of campaigning. What kinds of things are you hearing from people?
Well, first of all, people, they sort of answer the door and they're a little bit skeptical. They wonder who's at the door. When I tell them I'm an elected official running for office, I get smiles from most everybody. Mm-hmm. And I've gotten the feedback from many people in that district that they've never had an elected official come to their door before.
Oh, wow.
And then in terms of the issues, I hear, it's really interesting because on my palm card I have a number of issues. The one that people react to most often, and it's kind of surprised me, is affordable health care. Mm-hmm. I've met a woman, for example, who, even though she had health insurance, has $10,000 debt owing. Other people, small business people who are, for example, concerned they can't really afford to buy health insurance anymore.
Mhm.
So it's certainly one of the big issues in the district.
Mhm.
And some people like to just stop and talk, and some
Mhm.
people like to talk for 10 or 15 minutes,
Mhm.
and it's always interesting.
Mhm.
Most people are just happy to see me, we shake hands,
Mhm.
and go on to the next door.
Mhm. Well, that's good. So you served 2 terms on the city council. What
mhm.
was that experience like?
With 2 years on the city council was where I got my experience, I think, that makes me a good candidate for this election. During that 8 years, what's really interesting, we did a lot of things for that part of the city, for Northwest Lincoln. For example, we annexed the Highlands. We built the fire station out there, the swimming pool, the golf course. We opened up retail at 27th and Superior. Before the city council that I was on, the only grocery store in that area was the Hy-Vee at 14th and Superior. And now, of course, there's a whole bunch of retail in that area. So that was really a good experience. Again, I enjoyed listening to people. I always enjoy looking at new models of things, and so that was part of my city council experience, looking at other cities, other governments, and what they were doing to see if we can make things better.